All right, kind of want to get into a topic today. A little bit of background about myself. I am 27 years old. I have a 5-year-old daughter who's gonna be 6 in a couple of weeks, and I am also second child. I'm having a boy. Basically, I came on here to kind of talk about my journey right now as a single pregnant mother.
Look at that smug smile. This is what happens when your women grow up watching shows like Love and Hip Hop and Bad Girls Club. She really thinks she's doing a confessional for her own personal reality TV show. And this is why North Korea and the Taliban censor the shows their women watch. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't think I'm allowed to say that. Someone tell David Muir that was all sarcasm.
Pieces of video. I didn't detect the sarcasm.
And I know everybody looking at me like I'm crazy now, like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You know who you had a baby by, and this, that, and the third, and blah, 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 blah. Like, okay, whatever.
Blah, blah, whatever. You really have to love this nonchalant, blasé attitude these women have when talking about the livelihood and future of 2 children. Even when the community attempts to explain to her how dire her situation is, she just shrugs it off. You see, this is why shame was so effective against the modern narcissistic woman, even though they suffered from an illness called NPD, which is an inflated sense of self-importance, a need for excessive admiration or worship, and a lack of empathy for others. The glorious sanction of shame will always be the ultimate nullifier. Only shame and fear of ostracization will humble her. Only shame will save her children from a life of food stamps and drill rap. Only shame will save her from 304 destruction. But I've said too much.
I'm not really the type of person to go do what I do, be grown, or whatever I want to call it. And then when I get pregnant, you know, like the A word, get rid of it. I'm not that type of person. I know what I did, and I'm definitely just not comfortable with getting rid of my baby.
Grown people don't do what they do without being economically responsible for their possible outcomes. You, madam, are a child, a tax dollar leech. The reason why we can't have speed trains, Autobahn smooth highways, and government-assisted massage parlors. Things your Grace Lord Destro will fix on the first day of his administration.
I would honestly say that this is not what I wanted. Like, I wanted to be married or engaged when I had my second child, because the first one didn't work either. Yes, I have 2 baby daddies. Yes, I'm a statistic. Yes, yes, yes. All your questions, yes.
Now this goes back to our last video about body counts and microchimerism. So this woman has the DNA of multiple men flowing around in her system. The DNA that can affect her cognitive state can also affect her children. Even worse, the DNA of these random men could potentially affect her gene pool and family bloodline for generations. I would go as far as to theorize that if your baby mother is a 304, there is a high likelihood that your daughters and granddaughters might also become 304s. I've said this before in other videos, that the job of the queen was never to be the second in command. It was and is the duty of protecting the royal bloodline. So the next time you're about to let off a load into a 304, please remember the words of your Grace Lord Destro and run to the CVS and get yourself a plan B.
But y'all not gonna get on here and make me feel bad. Like, I know what I did. Okay, like, whatever. But I know I'm not the only person that's going through this. So that's why I honestly came on TikTok to talk about it. Because pregnant and single is, like, by far one of the hardest things I've ever encountered. On top of being a mother, on top of working full time, like, oh my God, y'all. This is hard. This is, like, really hard. And then you see everybody, like, when they're pregnant with their spouse and they're doing all the pictures, everything looks so cute, and you just like, oh, like, I wish that was me. Like, yeah, that's me right now.
Notice again, she focuses on the fun things. She focuses on the attention, the Instagram posts, and the admirations of her friends. She don't care about those kids. They're just a prop in her movie, like fake money in a rap video.
Very emotional, very wish that I had a boyfriend, very wish that I was with the person that I had my child with, you know. You wish that because that's what you want. Like, you want to give your kids a 2-parent household. Yes, I wanted all of that. And watching other people go through it, I just be like, oh my God, like, y'all so lucky, because being single, it's just like so many emotions, so many things you go through. You just like by yourself. Like, don't get me wrong, family and everything is very important. Family, friends, yes, love y'all down. Love y'all down, down, down. Like, y'all have been my support system. But it's different when you have the male figure that, you know, that you share the baby with. Like, it's so different. It just feels different. Like, at the beginning of my pregnancy, I did have him. You know, we was good. We was working through everything cool. But just things, you know, didn't work out. So, decided to split up. Or whatever, mutual feelings, like, we both decided that it was for the best.
So you failed twice in securing a father for your child. I mean, come on, let's be honest here. You failed.
Failure!
You failed your children twice. Once we watch you fail 3 times to conclude that you are the problem. And the funny part is, the unapologetic sisterhood will support her self-destruction. They will come to her house bearing cheap wine and kitty litter so she can vent. But they won't actually help her because remember, they are also incapable of empathy as well. She is also a movie prop to them as well.
I do want to say that to my other mommies who has a toddler and who's pregnant and working and just basically trying to make sure everything is okay, like, mommy guilt is definitely going to kick your butt. If it's not already doing so, it's gonna get to you. Don't let it get to you. Like, try your hardest to fight through it. I know it's hard to say this, but like, I'm literally experiencing it. Like, you gotta fight. You gotta fight. You gotta fight, babe. You got to.
Translation. Fight, 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 girlfriend. Or in other words, be as delusional as possible. Why should we feel guilty? Them kids don't need no father. What you need to do is focus on how you feel. Did you enjoy the time you had with your baby fathers? As long as we manifest and say our daily affirmations, the system will provide. Even though I'm a retired 3 or 4 and had 2 kids out of wedlock, God has a plan for me. And it should happen any day now.
Because if you stay in your head, like, thinking about all the stuff that you could be doing, or you feel like you're not doing enough, whatever, ma'am, you are one strong individual. You're doing this by yourself. Like, you got this.
Translation. Ma'am, take it from me. We are strong, independent women.
I don't need no man.
Women that should be venerated for our selfishness. I mean selflessness.
I saw what you did there.
Look, my brothers, we gotta do better. We have to move differently. We have to move like our brother did in the next clip. Witness what he did when he looked at her dating profile closely and realized that she was a single mother.
Okay, so I started texting this person, and like for like a week, for almost like a week and a half, we've been texting, and all leading up to a date that he asked me on. And come of said date, we show up at a public place to meet up, because I don't want them showing up to my house, because that's where me and my daughter live, and I don't want just random men coming up to my house knowing where I live. I don't. But yeah, so I come up to meet here at the place, and I call him to see, like, oh, because I tried texting him and it like started going like green, and I was like, oh, maybe he like lost service, because usually like lately I've been losing a lot of service. Come to find out, he fucking stood me up. Like, he said, oh, I'm on my way. I'm like 52 minutes out. I was like, okay, and yeah, I only put the 60 seconds, so I have to end this early.
This is the way.
But wait a minute. You didn't smash the bell and press the like button. Blasphemy. And although you will never be worthy of a monarch such as myself, Lord Destro would suggest that you poor fools at least give oligarchy a try. So here, Lord Destro has spoken.